Do you have 3 ways to aim?
Mountain Man Medical has comprehensive but compact trauma kits with name brand quality components. They also have discounts available for firearms instructors, teachers, veterans, and others. Please go check them out at get-asp.com/mountainman and thank them for sponsoring today's video.
Hey, Brian Hill with the Complete Combatant here. Welcome to Suck Less Saturdays. There's 3 methods that we can use to create models in our mind for aiming. We need to know what is being asked of us in each situation, and the context of the target will tell us that. So if I'm practicing a drill, if I'm going to do something that's hyper accurate, I'm going to use deliberate aiming mode. If I'm going to do something that allow a bit of error but needs some carefulness around it, I'm going to do a reactive mode and I'll clean it up. And then if I'm going at high speeds where I have a little bit more leniency as far as the target, but time is essential, I'm going to use a predictive methodology of aiming. So let me explain what I mean by those 3 things. When we're doing deliberate, this is like zeroing a gun. Time doesn't really matter. We're trying to achieve a certain level of stillness. But time does matter. If we shoot too soon, we'll miss. And if we wait too long and keep clarifying something that's already good enough, then we're going to get tired and we'll miss too. So we have to shoot in a timely manner relative to our concentration, shooting extremely hard target. That would be a 1-inch square on this target. I know I'm only at 3 yards, but I have to have a very deliberate trigger press. I have to be fully present. I have to be real still. So then say I go to the 4-inch circle, the number 10 over here. All right, it's going to allow a bit of movement in there. So what I want to do, as long as it's in the target, I'm going to press the trigger. But if I see it moving out, I'm going to correct it. That costs me like 1/4 of a second, which is incredibly worth it. I won't have a miss, and it puts me in a reactive mode. I'm going to keep cleaning up the sight movie as I shoot. And then the final one is if I'm shooting the big alpha in the middle, and I know I'm too close for this, but cameras, I'm by myself, guys, it's hard. Camera angle being what it is. As I see the dot entering the top of the target, and I know it's going in the correct direction, I'll press the trigger. So this gives me some control. What I find with most people is they only have 1 speed for everything. And then that dictates all their preferences in their training. If they're a deliberate shooter, they want to shoot everything in accuracy mode. If they're a predictive shooter, they want to shoot everything quickly. But wouldn't it be advantageous, especially for us self-defenders, to be able to look at the context of the situation and shoot appropriately and have a model of knowing what we're about to see? So let me show you. I'll do 3 shots on each and explain it a little bit. Okay, the 1-inch square that I drew up here, so it goes into the berm. What I'm going to do is settle the dot on the top of it, and I'm going to look for as much stillness as I can achieve. When I see what I want to, I'll just gently prep. I know you probably can't hear me while the gun's firing, but what I said to myself is prep, 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 all right? I shot all 3 rounds in the 1-inch square because that's the stillness, the deliberateness that was required. Now I'm going to go to that 4-inch circle. It allows a bit more motion, so I'm going to add some motion. Instead of just holding still and doing the same thing again and making the same pattern, I'm going to extend the gun. As I extend the gun, I'm going to prep the trigger. When I see the sights in there, I'm going to press it. But if I see it moving offline and it's going to miss that circle, I'm going to correct it real quick. So it'll be a reactive manner of shooting. So one thing you can see is there's a real change in cadence and pace. The group's a little more spread out, but it's in the target. Everything's good. I kept the shooting going. I really didn't have to make a correction. That was a nice, easy pace for me. So maybe I pick that up so I can work on reaction a little bit more. Now I'm going to work on predictive. All right, so from the draw, I'm going to drive the gun out and fire 2 shots. And what I want to see is the dot driving in, and when it lifts, I want it to drive back in. As long as I see it going in the correct direction, I'm going to press the trigger. So I'm getting ahead of the dot with the predictive methodology. And I know I'm extremely close, guys. That's not the purpose of this. We probably shoot this at 7 yards usually. But what I have here is a 94 draw with a 21 split. And I think there's a bit more probably in there. The draw was very good. The split was a little tense and tight. They're close and next to each other, so it's really good shooting. But what I saw was a streak come in. I saw the streak lift, and as soon as it came back, I was ready to press the trigger. Some of you are like, how do you see all that? Well, you've got to start preparing the mind to see this in advance. And if we create the correct model of it, when we see what we're supposed to see, we know it's the go signal. So let's try it one more time. Okay, so significantly faster. It's an 85 draw, and then my split's at 20. I took 1/100th off the split, so it doesn't really matter. They're equally good shots. I was just a bit earlier on it, all right? But I'm pushing the speed. I took something out of it. I predicted it well. I understand at this distance, I probably could draw the gun and point and hit the target, but I'm practicing seeing the flash. You know, we always talk about the red dot, but it's the streak that we're shooting in this mode. We're shooting a shape, a streak of movement, and we're making a prediction about it. Okay? Now, if I wanted to do it with more rounds, of course I could, but this is a great way for us to start. So I know you want to look at the target. Let's go over there and have a look at it. So this was the predictive part, or the deliberate part, and you can see that's 3 rounds in the square. Stillness was the real answer. As long as the dot was just about here, I pressed the trigger. I did it as gently as possible. That target will allow no error whatsoever, so I had to be really good. Then I came over to this one, and I extended the gun, and as the dot dropped in, I shot. If I saw it starting to move, I made a correction. And in this one, as soon as I saw the streak headed into the target, I pressed the trigger. As long as it started to come back down, I pressed it again. And what I'm giving myself is the ability to shoot different targets with different types of skills at the pace that's necessary. Instead of just shooting everything the same way, what we do is we say, all right, that one's a deliberate. All right, this one I have to be careful, so it's a bit reactive. And this one I'm going to have to be predictive because it requires me to shoot very quickly. And we're getting the input visually and also kinesthetically. This one, a lot of vision for stillness, but also a very light finger. It's got to be easy on that one. For this one, I have to be really careful of as I extend to prep the trigger appropriately, because if I do it hard, that'll put that margin of error. But if I see it going the wrong way, I'm going to correct it. As I see it start to move and it starts to exit towards the edge of the target, I'll correct it and shoot it. Only cost me 1/4 second. And then this one, as fast as I can shoot and I can still see, okay? So I would see differences at different ranges. So, you know, I'm at 3 yards now. At 25 yards, if I fired 2 of these instead of like the last one was a 105, I'd expect my first shot to break at a 130 or 140 and my follow-up shot to be about 0.4. So I could do it under 2 seconds, still the same prediction. But now I'm shooting a really small target. So I have to be a bit more corrective. See, it's no longer the same drill. And that's where the arguments about distance and speed and sight and everything comes together, because we're not modeling the process before we shoot it. If you know what you're about to see, you're going to have a lot of control over the correction. If you only do it one way and it's not working out, try this. See if that works better for you. Remember, you can shoot deliberately, reactively, and predictively. And this will give you the feeling of gripping the gun well, sights and trigger, extending it appropriately, but it's the target that talks to us and the target that defines the goals. So when you guys are working on your weekly drill that Brandon's putting out, look at it and say, what does this desire of me? Now, if you're super accurate, I know you want every group to look like that, but it's not necessary. It's only necessary on super accurate targets. And you guys that like to shoot fast, I know you say, boy, that's accurate and that's good enough, but it's not good enough for this. It might be off, and it's definitely not good enough for that. So that's why I've got to have different ways to do this. Drive the gun like you would drive a car. If you're on the track, every curve, every straightaway requires a different input. You just simply have to be present and model it. I hope that helps you guys. It's made a big difference in my shooting. It allows me to have an exceptional level of consistency, accuracy, efficiency, and discipline every time I shoot. All right, I'm Brian Hill with The Complete Combatant. This is Active Self-Protection Extra. Please hit the like button, subscribe. It helps us greatly. And leave questions. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching. And as always, measure, refine, and perform.